Alright guys, so like I said, today we're going to be talking about the differences between a YZ125 and a YZ250.
Yeah, start it off right, boys.
Oh yeah, bud! Send it!
Yeah!
So, for your guys' reference, I owned a YZ125 for about 3 years. And I've now owned this YZ250 for about, I'd say about 2 years. So, I've definitely had my time really learning these bikes. And I have a very good understanding of how they feel and what the differences between them are. So, I'm going to start off mostly with the YZ125. The YZ125 obviously is lighter than the YZ250. Obviously, it does not have as much power as the 250. Those are the common things that everybody knows. When it comes to woods riding, I feel like it's very underpowered in my opinion, because you have to be on the gas the whole time to really feel any of the power. With a YZ250, you can really lug the bike around and you know, really get a good feel for the low-end torque that the bike has. Where the YZ125 is, you're either on the gas or you're not. For example, if you guys are going up hills, you know, you have to be on the gas on the YZ125 to get up the hill. If you're not on the gas, like what I'm doing right now, just lugging this bike along, it's fine with it. You know, it's an MX bike, but in the trails, you know, it could do this and be perfectly content. Whereas on my YZ125, I couldn't do that. I'd literally have no power. The bike just, you know, it has to be in the power band for you to be going anywhere. So the YZ125 is a little bit smaller as well. In my opinion, it's easier to handle than the YZ250 because it's, like I said, it's lighter and it's a little bit smaller. But it depends on the kind of riding that you do. That's really going to affect those two things, you know? If you are doing the kind of riding like I do, you do mostly trails and stuff, that extra weight I feel like actually helps you a little bit. Because while it might slow you down a little bit in the turns, you know, it'll get you through if you're taking jumps. Or just in general, I feel like you'll have more balance on a 250 with a heavier weight than you would on a YZ125. I know I feel way more balanced on this bike than I did on my YZ125. Yeah, I would just say the biggest difference for sure is, you know, just your ability to lug a 250 around. You just don't have to put as much effort in and, you know, really strain yourself as much when you're on the 250 in the woods, because you're not on the gas all the time. You're not trying to focus of, okay, when I downshift, you know, I gotta make sure I'm in the perfect part of the power band going up this hill, or, you know, I'm not gonna make it. Or, you know, you really have to pick your line really well, especially on the hills with the YZ125, because if you don't, and, you know, you start to slow down, lose your momentum, you're gonna stall. And once you stall, you're done. You gotta go back down to the bottom of the hill and start all over again. So my preference is the YZ250. I like it a lot more than the YZ125. I love my little YZ125, you know. I might get another one, but I feel like the YZ250 is just overall a much better bike, and it has the ability to do a lot more than a YZ125 is. A YZ125 to me is, you know, a bike that you have if you have a field in your backyard, or you have really flat trails that you can hit in the power band consistently. There's no hills, but or the track too. Like I said, I think that's a much better track bike than a YZ250. But the YZ250, I mean, I've taken this bike everywhere. I've taken it through sands, mud, rocks, hills, combinations of everything, single track, and, you know, it does it. And that's the other thing too, if you like single track, the YZ125 really would just drain me so fast when I'd be doing the single track, because like I said, you're either all power or nothing. And, you know, you might not really think it's that big of a deal, but it really tires you out when you're not prepared for it. Yeah, guys, also the suspension on this, I feel like it's just way better for, you know, any kind of woods riding than my YZ125 is. I really felt, you know, a really big difference in the suspension, which is, you know, the biggest thing that you're going to feel in general when it comes to riding in the woods is the suspension. It really just makes, you know, a night and day difference in terms of how a bike feels. And I feel like the suspension that's on the YZ250 is just better suited for the woods than the one is on a YZ125. But yeah, guys, those are pretty much the main differences that I've noticed between my YZ125 and my YZ250. Overall, I feel like the YZ250 is a much better overall bike. If you're going to get one or the other, I'd say get a YZ250. It's really not a good bike for beginners in terms of the power, but if you have some experience on a bike and you're very careful with the throttle, you know, you can handle a YZ250. I would say if you're using it for the woods especially, just jump over the YZ125. And, you know, you're gonna... I really just don't feel like a YZ125 is a good bike for the woods, in my opinion. So, that's pretty much gonna do it for this one, guys. If you like this video, let me know by hitting the like button. Hit subscribe if you have not already. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace!